All right, without any further delay, although I love delaying, especially before this guy, this man knows the indie films, the main, what do you want to call them? DC Universe? Is it the DC? What's the other one? Marvel,
DC.
comic book stuff, the superhero
Don't
crap.
forget the foreign stuff.
Foreign stuff.
The occasional documentary.
Okay. Once again, I am humbled by the knowledge of this man. He is the guy who comes on Fridays, comes and goes on Rainbow. He's the great Michael Snyder, the culture blaster.
Hey, hi everybody on this dead weekend, a very much alive weekend actually, and glad that you're back in the captain's chair, Mark, although I love hanging out with Kim when you're not around. And you weren't here to referee any argument that might have sprung up between me and Tony regarding the Fantastic Four's use of a female Silver Surfer. This has been a sticking point for our man,
you've met
Tony.
your match in Tony when it comes to comic books.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I heard that Hollywood reporters...
Tony just gave you the greatest look of all time.
Hollywood reporters approached Elton John, who was sitting poolside in a sequined Speedo and a rhinestone-encrusted sombrero, and asked his opinion of Trump's planned $200 million ballroom, and his response was, "I'm much too tacky, darling."
Even for the diamond-encrusted E-Man. Huh?
Yeah, right. In a subsequent interview on the subject, the ghost of Louis XVI said, "Sacre bleu, that is even too much for me."
Yeah, too much for the Versailles architect.
I know, crazy. So it's a fun weekend. The Grateful Dead hysteria is going on up north. I happen to be in Los Angeles for a bit. And I'm excited tonight about the American Cheese Group Art Show at Super Chief this evening downtown in Los Angeles from 7 to 11. Tomorrow, KP Project's Slice of Summer Group Art Show from 6 to 9. And I'm really thrilled that my friend and colleague, singer, pop music pundit, and savant, the mighty Manfred of the bands The Woggles and The Magnificent, is celebrating his birthday with a live show at the Barclay in Pasadena. That is Saturday night. I am just on tenterhooks about it. I'm excited about it, really.
Wow, look at you.
But we're about movies, right? And
Yeah.
TV, right?
Yeah.
So let's get down to it. Some of the Mark Thompson show audience bemoans my attention to drama and the horror movies, and that's they just get a little bummed out, and they would like, I want a comedy. I want something to lift my spirits. Well, The Naked Gun opened today.
Oh, I love that you've seen this.
Well, I have to say, as I pointed out time and again, Liam Neeson has a particular set of skills, and one of them is comedy.
Wow.
He was truly funny as the befuddled police officer in the Irish sitcom Derry Girls. He did a hilarious send-up of himself in Life's Too Short, the Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant sitcom about little person actor Warwick Davis. And now, the serious lead actor of Schindler's List and the aging action hero of Taken fame takes on his most challenging role. Lieutenant Frank Drebin Jr., L.A. police detective son of Leslie Nielsen's straight-faced and hilariously clueless crime-busting cop Frank Drebin from the original smash hit comedy trilogy, The Naked Gun. That was 1988 to 1994, roughly?
Right.
And that was spun off a short-lived TV comedy sitcom thingy called Police Squad. Those earlier efforts excelled at comedic idiocy, and the new Naked Gun holds that banner high, Mark. Every film noir needs a femme fatale, and that goes for spoofs of film noir, too. So enter Pamela Anderson, enjoying a career resurgence here. She plays Beth, a sexy but off-kilter woman in a jam, and she's pretty good with a gag. I mean, there is a sequence in this where she essays in a nightclub a performance that is a loony revelation. It takes a lot of guts, and it takes a lot of, confidence to get up there and do something like this, and she's great. So the new Naked Gun is a nonstop barrage of dumb and often gut-busting jokes and sight gags. There's Easter egg references to the earlier Naked Guns and topical gags that fit right in. So Lieutenant Frank Drebin is accused of criminal behavior on his part, and the person behind all of this is sort of an Elon Musky zillionaire who wants to control the world, and he's played by Danny Houston, and Houston is clearly having a ball in this thing. I have to say, I laughed out loud about 5 times, and I was grinning throughout the rest of the movie. Paul Walter Hauser is having a moment after his small role in Fantastic Four: First Steps as the Mole Man. Yeah, Tony. That movie was good, Tony. Anyway, here he's Frank Jr.'s partner in Straight Man. You know, Akiva Schaffer, one of the Lonely Island comedy group with Andy Samberg and Jorma Taccone, directed and co-wrote the screenplay. Seth MacFarlane produced and must have kibitzed because some of the comedy had a whiff of him at his best, like in the case of his profane teddy bear movie, Ted. The result here is a lovingly stupid comedy triumph that comes in at under 90 minutes, including end credit hijinks that have to be seen. Look, no, not every joke is going to land, and humor is so subjective, but you are peppered with so many that it's hard not to be amused a lot of the time, which is why we watch comedies. By the way, in a sweet postscript to the new Naked Gun, Neeson and Anderson apparently fell in love while making the movie and are now an official couple.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you.
That is unreal.
You know, Neeson swore off romance after his wife died.
His wife died. Yeah.
And she was a wonderful actress herself, and part of the Redgrave clan. And you know, I think it's great.
That is unreal.
So The Naked Gun is in theaters.
Pam Anderson is now with Liam Neeson.
What?
And she's wonderful. You know, if you didn't see The Last Showgirl, you should try to rent it or watch it on streaming. It's a bravura performance by Ms. Anderson, who has got her mojo back after years in the wilderness. Anyway, let us move on. Speaking of celebrity couples, Dave Franco and Allison Brie, real-life husband and wife, are co-starring in a very good, appropriately creepy horror movie. I couldn't go a week without kind of reviewing a horror movie.
Play your horror.
Together is a fine example of the body horror genre with chills and more than a few moments of queasiness and unease, but it's also got some provocative ideas about how scary it can be to try and sustain a romantic pairing and how love can overwhelm you. You kind of lose yourself in somebody. In Together, a long-term relationship between teacher Millie and musician Tim is losing steam in the big city, and they hope it's going to be rejuvenated by a move to a rural small town where Millie has scored a teaching job that she thinks is going to be more gratifying than the one she had in the city. Smaller classes, helping her to connect better with the students. Musician Tim is not so sure since he's been offered a gig as a guitarist with a touring band. So there's a lot of conflict inherent in the relocation, which is exacerbated by a strange, mystical power that lurks in the woods near their new home in the boonies. And what transpires is clever, it's witty, and sometimes grotesque, and it's greatly assisted in its truth, in its verity, by the genuine intimacy of its two leads. And it's a pretty sharp critique of people whose individual identities become submerged in couplehood.
Oh, wow.
So filmmaker Michael Shanks wrote the script and directed Together, which is ruthless in the best possible way. And Franco and Brie are the ideal embodiments of Shanks' ooey-gooey treatise on relationship drama turned trauma. We're all really familiar with that cutesy trope where a twosome is so close that they finish each other's sentences, you know. Anyway, Together takes the idea of you complete me to gruesome extremes.
Oh, my God. I can kind of figure out what's happening.
Well, I don't want to blow too much of it. Getting there is all the fun here.
Sure.
And Together is in theaters.
All right.
And this is two I recommended. Now, here's another one. I can't believe this is such a fruitful week for decent films. There is great voice work and kind of antic, manic, stylish animation in The Bad Guys. Those were hallmarks of the movie, a surprisingly fresh cartoon comedy about a thieving gang of anthropomorphic animals led by a canny, dapper wolf, voiced by my one-time neighbor on San Francisco's Russian Hill, the always terrific Sam Rockwell. Love that guy. He used to sit in the cafe, the Royal Grounds Cafe, reading scripts, and he was cool. Nobody bothered him. You know, he wasn't all that famous at the time.
At the time, right.
But I knew who he was. I would give him, the pistol guns or a little nod now and again. Anyway, I'm happy to report that the sequel, The Bad Guys 2, from DreamWorks Animation, is also a lot of fun as it recounts the adventures of the bad guys after they attempt to go straight. Now, the bad guys, just FYI, include, and I'll tell you their voice actors as well, Mr. Snake, voiced by our pal from San Francisco many years ago, Mark Maron, who's having a bit of a resurgence as an actor and, much deserved. Craig Robinson as Mr. Shark, kind of a master of disguise, big, burly, and yet, he pulls the wool over people's eyes. Anthony Ramos as Mr. Piranha. Aquafina as Ms. Tarantula, who's kind of a tech genius. And, these guys are out there doing their thing, and it's pretty funny and very enjoyable. And, the cops and the public at large, who, by the way, are mostly humans, don't believe that the bad guys have reformed. They've done their time, and now they're trying to do good. Yeah, by the way, the real miscreants here, the ones who cause trouble, besides the evil genius guinea pig, Rupert Marmalade IV, who was the villain in the first movie and voiced by Richard Ayoade, are the bad girls, who are also criminal anthropomorphic animals. And these bad girls have a high-tech heist in mind. It's going to be the greatest robbery in history, unless the bad guys and their one ally, the governor, can stop them. It's Ocean's 11 meets Mission Impossible, only in cartoon form. It is fast, furious, and frenzied fun that, kind of like the Fast and Furious films, does get more outlandish as it careens to a climax. And that's right, an animated movie about talking animal felons gets more outlandish as it goes along. If that doesn't stop it from being good, all ages entertainment. A quick cast note, the bad girls are voiced by Danielle Brooks as the kitty cat, Natasha Lyonne, who also plays another of the animals, and Maria Bakalova as the pig creature. I just got a kick out of it. The bad guys too.
Bad guys too. He likes it.
Family entertainment that worked for me.
I'm loving it.
Okay, my sleeper pick of the week is the on-the-road thriller She Rides Shotgun, which is about an ex-con and his wary 11-year-old daughter who are on the run from people who want to kill them. Now, I love real film noir, not just comedy film noir like The Naked Gun, and She Rides Shotgun is noir with big stakes, the well-being of an innocent kid being the central one here. It comes in at 2 hours on the nose, and I was riveted to the screen from start to finish. In She Rides Shotgun, Taron Egerton is a force of nature as Nathan, a desperate man trying to reconnect with the daughter he barely knows, while he does everything in his power to keep her safe. Egerton is like you've never seen him in previous movies, like the Elton John biopic, Rocket Man, where he played, Mr. John.
He's unbelievable in his ability to transform himself into a role, physically transform himself, and, of course, from an acting standpoint, just inhabit a role. He's really something else.
And he first broke big in the spy spoof Kingsman, where he was a working-class Yabo who becomes a suave secret agent. He's so good here. And Anna Sophia Hegger is revelatory as Nathan's estranged daughter, Polly, a vulnerable child torn from her normal suburban life and thrust into a life or death situation where she has to do whatever she can to survive. On top of the excellent work by Egerton and Hegger, who sell their developing rapport under duress, there is a surprisingly effective performance by John Carroll Lynch, who is so likable as the avuncular cop on the current TV show Ballard. Here, he's playing a considerably more hard-ass lawman, and you're like, it's not the same guy. And, of course, you can't mistake who he is. Big, burly guy, very familiar. So director Nick Rowlands did a film in 2020, which was incredibly impactful. It was called The Shadow of Violence, and it had a similar vibe to this one that he's done. That one had a story of an Irish boxer turned mob enforcer who's trying to protect his autistic son. Here, of course, it's, again, a parent-kid situation. Roland does so well with this adaptation of Jordan Harper's novel, which is titled She Rides Shotgun. And by the way, Jordan co-wrote the screenplay to this, so one would assume it's true to his book's vision. Whether it is or not, I got to say that She Rides Shotgun is among my favorite movies of the year, and I hope it doesn't fall through the cracks. It is in select theaters starting today.
Wow. You really like it. It's amazing. You're really going. You're on a run. What's next?
Okay, I wish I was a little more excited about this. We're going to have a few quickies for you. Anyone who knows me well knows of my affection for the Beat Generation writers and Jack Kerouac's books in particular, especially his major opus On the Road. So director Ebbs Burnau's new documentary, Kerouac's Road, The Beat of a Nation, was of particular interest to me, and it does have archival footage. It has narration of Kerouac's words, done by Michael Imperioli, who you may recall from The Sopranos. It's got interviews with the likes of comedian and pundit W. Kamau Bell, who is a Bay Area favorite, Josh Brolin and Matt Dillon, the actors who were heavily influenced by Kerouac, Natalie Merchant, who wrote a song about Jack Kerouac when she was the lead singer of 10,000 Maniacs, and various people from his life who knew him, this singer-songwriter David Amram, Jay McInerney, who wrote
Sure.
Bright Lights, Big City, heavily influenced by Kerouac. He weighs in. And there's even an ex of his, Joyce Johnson, who they found her and they interview her. But all of this stuff, which is of immense interest to me, is interspersed with, I guess, three actual ongoing odysseys by modern day Americans of different stripe. And it doesn't really come together clearly. Some of it seemed gratuitous and didn't necessarily relate to Kerouac per se. I guess they were just showing that the American spirit is still one that is involved with people reaching out, finding new frontiers, going on the road, getting the feel of the country, themselves by actually going out there and traveling and meeting new people. But that
Didn't work for you.
Not totally. Aspects of it were good. And if you are, like me, interested in Kerouac and his work, yeah, it's worth a watch. I just kind of wish that had been the main thrust of the film. And I guess in ways it was, but,
Where can we not see it?
You cannot see it in select theaters right now.
What else do you have?
Okay, let me see if I can zip through the rest of these. Because
Did you see Happy Gilmore, the second Happy Gilmore?
I'm going to get to that. I'm going to close out with that.
Okay.
Okay, so another movie that I was completely enamored of and unreservedly recommend is Suleiman's Story. Heartbreaking, compelling, insightful, and relevant. Suleiman's Story examines one African immigrant's motivations and burdens. It's an award-winning drama that could very well be a documentary itself and probably gets much of its story and Suleiman's story from real life. The character of Suleiman, powerfully and believably played by Abu Sangare, is up against a 2-day deadline and time is running out. Having made a perilous journey from his native Guinea to France, he's sleeping in Parisian shelters and working illegally as a food delivery guy on a bike. So he's short on cash and under unrelenting pressure, and he needs to prepare for an impending asylum interview, get ID papers, which will cost him. And again, he's got next to no money, and he has to memorize his story in order to convince a government interviewer that he deserves to be officially allowed into the country. It's directed and co-written by Boris Lojkin, and Suleiman's Story is like a tragedy-tinged look at the refugee experience that may leave you shattered, but I think it needs to be seen. And for the record, the movie won the Un Certain Regard Jury Prize, and Sangare won the Un Certain Regard Best Actor Award at the Cannes Film Festival.
It is in French?
It is primarily in French with English subtitles.
How do you say he won the award in French?
He wins the award. Yeah, I know. I was doing my Louis XVI impression again, but no, there you go. It's in select theaters, and I think it's going to have a good life on streaming. I hope it does. I hope people see it. And let's wrap up the movies with Happy Gilmore 2. I let it go last week.
No, that's in French, Happy Gilmore 2? No?
Oui, it is stupid. Anyway, if anyone actually thinks of Happy Gilmore 2 as a comedy hole-in-one, as suggested by one pull quote from a reviewer, possibly on the take, allow me to offer a counter opinion. It's a lowbrow, unfunny bogey. Get the golf reference.
I get it. Okay.
From start to finish, even if a few supporting players bring energy to the greens. The Naked Gun is dumb. It's dumb, but it's genuinely funny. This is just a chore to watch, despite Julie Bowen, Christopher McDonald, Ben Stiller, Benny Safdie of the filmmaking Safdie brothers,
Wow.
Eminem, Bad Bunny, and a slew of real pro golfers and broadcasters. There are a lot of gratuitous cameos, some literally seconds long, but still wearying, as well as Sandler family members, including his daughter, Sonny, who, mea culpa. She was so good in the sweet comedy You Are Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah a couple years ago, but this is like, leagues less of a movie than that. For some reason, I have to point this out, no less than Margaret Qualley, well on her way to a serious and respected acting career.
Yeah, sure. She's the daughter of
Andy McDowell.
Yeah.
And the talented comedian, actor, and writer Eric Andre. They appear in a couple short scenes as blithering Happy Gilmore fans. I'm not sure if they lost the bet or watched the.
What are they doing there? Is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, but they watched.
It's okay to say no, is what you're saying.
That's what I'm trying. Yeah. Maybe when they were kids, they watched the original Happy Gilmore, which was a better film than this, by the way.
Yeah.
And they were somehow honored to be asked to participate. But I immediately wanted to see Qualley and Andre co-star in a smartly written rom-com instead of this sand trap claptrap. This is particularly lame in the wake of the gratifying golf-themed comedy show Stick. I really cannot endorse Happy Gilmore 2. It's on Netflix, so, caveat emptor.
Yeah. Wow. You've done a lot. People wanted to know what you thought of the Billy Joel documentary. Have you had a chance to see any of that?
I have not watched it as yet. I was never a big fan, but he's apparently a good guy.
Apparently, it's a really, there's some revelations along the way, and it's quite good.
I did love his album Allentown. That's the kind of only thing that I really kind of took a shine to when it was originally released. I didn't start the fire, Mark.
I want to, just to catch up, I do the thing where we just keep track of the words as opposed to dinging throughout. Assays was early on in your conversation. You used it. Exacerbated, you used.
That sounds right.
Verity, will ding it. And miscreants, I will ding. So that's,
thank you.
I might have missed some, but that's what I got. I do want to review, though, the important stuff quickly. Happy Gilmore 2. Lowbrow, unfunny, chore to watch. That is a right. That is a quote you won't see on a movie poster.
I said it earlier. Comedy is subjective.
Suleiman's story, one African immigrant story. It's an immigrant story that is important. Abu Samgari, in the Samgari in the starring role. Michael really likes it and recommends it. It is primarily in French with subtitles. Kerouac's Road, The Beat of a Nation. Michael liked it. Thought it was thorough. Somehow it just didn't quite land for you.
No, they incorporated the modern day, roadsters and people out there seeing America. It didn't congeal.
Congeal's a ding word. She Rides Shotgun, the ex-con and daughter on the run from bad guys who want to off them. Wow. It's noir, baby. It puts the N in noir. Taron Egerton and Michael Snyder, the culture blaster, likes it.
Very much. I would say loved it. I loved it.
She Rides Shotgun is in select theaters, and check to see if your theater's been selected. So The Bad Guys 2. Sam Rockwell, Mark Maron, Craig Robertson, Natasha Lyonne. I mean, my God, Maria Bakalova. It's a good one.
Yeah, he liked it. Fun. It's disposable fun, great family entertainment for those who
with
are
families and who want to entertain their families.
Right.
Bad Guys 2, go see it. It's in theaters. Together is the Dave Franco, Alison Brie horror movie. It's body horror. Michael Shanks directed this drama turned trauma. It sounded intriguing.
Oh, it's good, man.
And you really liked it. Yeah. Together, it's called. It's a play on these two, on this couple, and it sounds as though something quite gross is going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's funny. There are funny moments, and it also is very, very pointed in its criticism of people that just get so close that you can't differentiate between them.
That's in theaters.
It is.
And then finally, and firstly, The Naked Gun. Michael says all the jokes are coming so fast, you may not like all of them, but there's one for everybody, ultimately you will really enjoy it. He calls it a lovingly stupid comedy.
We need to laugh in this day and age. I just want to wrap up quickly. I know we don't have much time, but I'm waiting for Wednesday, the second season, to premiere on Netflix. So in the interim, I did watch the latest episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which is the prequel to the original 1960s series on Paramount Plus, and it was a totally nutty romp. It was titled A Space Adventure Hour, and it featured one of the Enterprise crew, this is before Shatner, testing a prototype holodeck, which is the immersive 3D virtual reality playroom that was a regular feature on Star Trek The Next Generation. But I think that was just an excuse for a space adventure hour to have a little fun with the franchise's history, since the program in the holodeck in this episode was a 60s murder mystery set in Hollywood and involving the cast and producers of a fictional network science fiction show that was very much like the original Star Trek, with candy-colored sets and female crew members in miniskirts. And Paul Wesley, the guy who plays young Kirk on Strange New Worlds, portraying the Kirk-like captain of the spaceship on the faux Star Trek show with an overheated and halting delivery that was very much like an over-the-top takeoff on Shatner himself. It was a hoot, Mr. Spock.
I don't know how we're going to see all of these in time to see Wednesday when it's dropped. Yeah, that's great. I can't wait to look at that. There it is. That's a screen grab from it. Tony's so good. Yeah. Nice job.
Thanks, Tony.
Wow. Well, you covered a lot, Michael Snyder. You really covered a lot.
I'm out of breath, Mark.
And I got a compliment. I always like, they're so seldom do I get one. Richard Delamater says, what a brilliant idea, saving the ding words till the end. Mark, you're a genius from the future. I mean, finally somebody realizes I'm a genius from the future.
Yeah, Mark Trek.
Michael, enjoy the Grateful Dead in Golden Gate Park if you decide to go, and all of the other stuff you check out, because you're a big, you're a patron of the arts. You're a culture blaster.
We will see how the Giants do, the refurbished, retooled Giants do, starting tonight in New York against the Mets.
I love that. Can't wait. Starts at 4:00 Pacific. Hey, I am hopeful that people will check out your writing, because I think you're a brilliant writer, and your brilliance comes out in the writing at Voice of, what is it?
TheVoiceSF.org, baby. TheVoiceSF.org. Me and the professor are both
Rothman's on there too. TheVoiceSF.org. Thank you, Michael. He comes and goes on a rainbow.
Maybe a little late.
The Culture Blaster, everybody. Bravo, Michael.
Thank you, buddy.
You are the real thing.